The gentleman from Henry, Mr. Armstrong.
Point of personal privilege, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman may proceed.
Mr. Speaker, like you, I like nothing better in the evening after a long day at the General Assembly than to curl up in front of the fire and read the Code of Virginia. Yeah, I'm sick, but that's only one reason. And last night, Mr. Speaker, I was reading Title 2.2. Now, I suspect if I went into your office and pulled out the code, I might see the binding on 8.01 a little skinned up, or maybe in my office 18.2. But, you know, I rarely pull out and look at Title 2.2, but there's a section called 2.2500. Let me read it to you. It's real short. The Attorney General shall be the Chief Executive Officer of the Department of Law and shall perform such duties as may be provided by law. And just a few statutes behind that, we learn that there is created in the Department of Law a Division of Consumer Counsel. How about that? The duties of the Division of Consumer Counsel will be to appear before governmental commissions, agencies, and departments, including the State Corporation Commission, to represent and be heard, get this, on behalf of consumers' interests and investigate such matters relating to such appearance. So, Mr. Speaker, if I read these two code sections appropriately, it seems to me the Attorney General is the lead consumer advocate when appearing before the State Corporation Commission, which does a lot of things, include regulate electric utility industries. Mr. Speaker, I've learned an awful lot about electric utility regulation the last year, maybe enough to last a lifetime. I would tell you, though, that there's something going on right now that has nothing to do with legislation in this state. Don't know if any of you saw an editorial by Christina Knuckles in the Virginian Pilot in the last few days. But in case you missed it, let me read you just a few lines. Dominion Virginia Power wants to tinker with the rate settlement case less than a year after the ink is dried. That leaves utility watchdogs and electricity customers with nothing but bad choices, if they have any choices at all. The monopoly utility is asking regulators at the State Corporation Commission to delay this year's rate increase until 2012. If the company's request is granted, its customers won't see a rate reduction until December 2014 at the earliest, even though last year's review concluded the utility was earning excess profits. Maybe you read in the newspaper that Dominion Virginia Power is, in return for pushing this case off a year, is going to give its customers $75 million. Well, you know, I'm guessing that they're doing that just out of the goodness of their heart, and it doesn't have anything to do with maybe being able to keep more than $75 million in excess profits by pushing this off. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that you would expect the Attorney General to be jumping up and down. After all, he and I share something in common. Bashfulness is not a stronger quality of either one of us. But lo and behold, the Attorney General thinks that pushing it off is just fine. Northrop Grumman filed its objection a few days ago, and I am content, Mr. Speaker, that the major corporations and businesses of this state can look after their interests. They can afford lawyers. But what about the consumers of this state? Where's their lawyer? Where's their advocate? Where's their spokesperson? He can stand up and be involved in a multitude of lawsuits, but when it comes time to stand up for the consumers of this state, he's nowhere to be found. I suppose, Mr. Speaker, the Attorney General is looking after consumers in this state like Colonel Sanders is looking after his chickens. In the meantime, pay your electric bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Scott, Mr. Kilgore.
Mr. Speaker, point of personal privilege.
Gentleman has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, after hearing the gentleman from Henry talk about the Consumer Council at the State Corporation Commission, I had to speak and clear a few matters up. First of all, if you look at the recent AEP case, the State Corporation Commission quoted and actually accepted the Attorney General's version of the facts numerous times throughout that opinion, and basically, which led to basically lowering AEP's request for rates. And as far as the Dominion case goes, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, we have a situation there where under the 07 law they have to return over earnings, and they will be doing that, and I think it would occur before 2014 when the main rate case goes into effect. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to true that up. What we're faced here with in Virginia, we want to be able to have those generation capacity in Virginia. We want to be able to have the transmission lines. And the most important thing is when we go to the light switch, we want to be able to turn the lights on. And that's what we're working on with this energy policy of Virginia. I think the Attorney General's office has stepped up and did the consumers and the businesses of Virginia a great service. We're still among the lowest in the nation as it relates to utility rates. So before you jump on that train that the world is falling or that everything's caving in around us, look at the facts. We're still rated as one of the top states to do business in across the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Attorney General is doing a great job for us, has Consumer Council, and if you don't believe me, look at the recent orders of the State Corporation Commission.
Gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Hugo.
Mr. Speaker, point of personal privilege.
Gentleman has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the gentleman from Henry's comments, but let's go through some of the facts here. And the chairman was very accurate and very precise in his analysis. But let's go through. Last year, over the last few years, we have gotten innumerable speeches on electric rates. Innumerable times we've gone to committee and listened to this, and we've extended every courtesy possible to the gentleman and his people that wanted to testify. We spoke the other day. We had a 5-hour committee hearing. About 2 hours were dedicated to the gentleman Henry and his bills. Every one of his witnesses spoke as all they wanted to. In fact, the only one that cut off was a witness that was against him, and that was by me. We were just trying to move it along. But I want to remind everybody, when we had this last year, we asked the gentleman from Henry in committee, will your legislation do anything? Will it roll back the rates? And the answer was, I don't know. So all those speeches last year, all those speeches in committee, press releases about this legislation was going to do great things. When it got down to it, he said, I don't know. And the premise of what we had in committee this week or 2 weeks ago was that there had been a 90% increase in the rates. That's pretty big. But when we got to we've been saying for the last year, no, we think the numbers are wrong. No, we think the numbers are wrong. And the fact of the matter is, when we got down to it, when we analyzed it, when we looked at it closely, we found out it wasn't 90%. It was 33%. The whole premise of all these debates was false. Look at the bills. Look at the facts. His facts are wrong. His analysis is wrong. His bills are wrong. But unfortunately, the speeches are still way too long. Thank you.